Guess what? It's All Saints' Day.
Hello everyone, welcome to Kill the Cast. My name is Jerry, and as always, I am joined by the ever-quotable Jay.
If the Evil Dead remake can make it rain blood with practical effects, you can handle a stabbing or limb removal.
Okay.
That is a quote from our very first show.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, there you go.
Anniversary show.
Yeah. And the person who was not on our very first show, the Silent Hill biker himself, Kenneth.
Hi. I'm here, as always.
And it's November. It is our 2-year anniversary month because 2 years ago, this month, Jay and I dropped the first Kill the Cast episode, City of the Living Dead. And we're still here kicking. 2 years later, we brought Kenneth in. We've done some shows. We've done some shit. People have had sex while the podcast is recorded somewhere in the world, I'm sure. And we're here to get into it. But before we get into that, Jay, how you been?
I've been pretty good. Work's kicking my ass now that we're getting busy on the holidays.
Getting busy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a new phone, so that's cool. But that's about it.
Fair enough.
Did you get the Pixel 2?
I did get the Pixel 2 XL, 128 gig version.
Does it have a memory card slot?
Nope.
Then fuck
non-expandable memory.
Does it?
Fuck that phone.
Does it have a headphone jack
Nope.
of any kind? Because
Mine
mine
has an
technically doesn't have
adapter.
mine
Has
doesn't
an
have a headphone
adapter.
jack
No.
either.
Then fuck that phone.
No, trust me, it's amazing.
No, fuck that shit. I won't buy a phone that doesn't have a card for a memory. Doesn't have a slot for a memory card.
It comes with free unlimited Google Drive picture storage and
Okay.
128 gigs built in. I'm never going to even use that.
Well,
I can't say anything. I've got the same thing on my iPhone where it's like 128 gigs, and I've only got maybe a quarter of the way through it, and I've got like 3,000 pictures saved on my phone.
and 90% of them are naked women.
Exactly.
The other 10% are people he actually knows in real life. Or guns.
That is, yeah, and for people out there, that is not a joke. That is 100% legit.
I'm going to need copies of all of the pictures of people you know in real life.
I didn't mean nude pictures of people he knows in real life. I meant the other 10% is just pictures of people he knows in real life, like his daughter and me.
Yeah, you know the shit
less
that normal
exciting.
people, the shit that normal people take pictures of on their phones.
That's way less exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The rest of it's just porn.
Kenneth, how have you been, speaking of porn?
I've been all right, I guess. I'm just really tired, and got a lot of stuff going on, and it, down here in reality. But other than that, I'm all right.
That sounds fantastic. I'm glad you're here and kicking it with us.
Yeah, it's kind of dismal, but I survive.
Well, I'm glad you'll survive, because I was starting to worry that you would not survive, and then we'd have to replace you. And I don't really know how to replace you.
It's all good.
I've got his DNA stored in a jar, so if we need to clone him, we're good there.
Yeah, that's true. So, Jay, during Halloween, you watched the Psycho movies for the first time. I want to get into this because...
Okay, so here's the deal. My last 4 movies were originally going to be the Attack of Killer Tomato movies, and apparently, even with all the pirating skills in the world, they don't fucking exist. You can't buy them. You can't download them. Nobody's streaming them. Like, the first one has a Blu-ray release, I guess, and so that was easy enough to find, but the other ones, maybe they're only on VHS. I don't fucking know, but I couldn't find them. So I was like, well, let's see. And I talked to you about it, and you're like, you should watch the Psycho movies. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. So I had seen Psycho 4 before, the one where he calls the radio station,
Okay,
and
the
I
bad
thought... it wasn't bad. Why would you
Yes,
like?
it was.
It
was not.
It was stupid.
You're all stupid.
Stupid people.
God, now I lost my train of thought. I thought I had seen the first one, but apparently I had not. Because while I was I knew all the events, and the twist wasn't a twist to me. But as I was watching, I just realized that I had never seen it before.
How a horror fan goes 30 plus years without ever seeing the original Psycho is...
Well, I did start watching horror movies when I was 3. Okay, so give me a little bit of some slack there. But
Yeah,
I
see,
just
the thing
I
about
thought I
it
had
is,
seen it. I thought I had seen it.
if you really think about it, I mean, really think about it, he didn't really have to, because everybody else in the genre knows the movie well enough to where he knew what happened in the movie. He didn't technically have to watch it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a fucking masterpiece. The tension that Hitchcock builds is fantastic.
It's a great movie. I love it.
Now, okay, so obviously the first one is fucking amazing. What did you think of part 2?
I liked all of them. I guess you guys hate 4, and I don't understand why, but I liked all of them.
It should have just been Psycho 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then Bates Motel.
I've never seen... I skipped Bates Motel because Jerry said that was just a TV movie and it doesn't count.
It is. It doesn't count.
I'm talking about the TV show.
Oh. We're talking
the
about
TV
movies.
show.
Shut the fuck up.
If you watch the Bates Motel TV show, that screws with the continuity of all the movies.
But I'm talking about Norman Bates as a character, existence. The only thing that ever should have been put out was the first 3 movies, and then that show. Everything else.
Why don't you like 4? What problem do you have with 4?
To me, overall, it was lame. Number one, I didn't like the young Norman. I thought that was stupid. I did not like the actor
or just the story of it.
The actor. I didn't like the actor. I did not like the portrayal of his mom. I just didn't like it.
But that's almost identical to how she's portrayed in the show.
No, it's not.
I said almost.
Yeah, but not to me at all. You know, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to bang the lady that was in Psycho 4. I wanted to bang Vera Farmiga.
Jesus Christ. That's how you judge a fucking movie.
It works for me.
Oh, Christ.
Okay, so Psycho 3
yes.
Is a well-loved movie between me and Kenneth. We did an episode on it.
Yeah, I was just fixing to say, Jay, you should listen to our podcast on Psycho 3.
Maybe.
Listen to a podcast for once in your fucking life.
I had to listen to 10 minutes of our first episode to find that fucking quote, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, but you're not in this episode.
That's true. It might be different. I almost responded to you, too, while I was listening to the fucking podcast because I had my headphones on. After you said something, I almost responded. I thought we were having a conversation, but I'm just
I can't say
tired.
anything. I've done that before, listening to our podcast, where I was just like, I went to go say something, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've already done this.
Oh, my fucking God.
Humanoids from the deep.
Exactly. So, okay, so everyone's super happy. Jay finally watched the fucking Psycho movies. And I love the fact that he likes a black and white horror movie.
Black and white is nothing. I don't mind black and white at all. Clerks and Sin City are my favorite movies.
Okay, I guess I'm super glad he liked a horror movie that was made before the 1980s.
But that's still not correct terminology. I just don't like the Universal movies.
It's ironic. I was watching, me and Jade and I were watching Dracula before we got on the podcast tonight.
Dracula 4? Is that what you said?
Dracula before we got on the podcast.
I was like, the fuck is Dracula 4?
I thought he said Dracula porn, and I was like, why are you watching Dracula porn with your daughter? And is it
gotta learn sometime.
And is it like a porno version of Dracula, or is it porn made for Dracula? So it's like
it's just a girl with like really thick veins.
You know, it's Keanu Reeves just slowly like stabbing his finger to over and over. That's all it is.
The thing about this is that you're going on and on with the comedic relief of this, but not appreciating the fact that my daughter was enjoying a Universal monster movie.
I mean, no, I'm stoked. Make her watch Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I'm not making her watch anything. She asked.
Okay, she came up and asked you to watch Dracula specifically, or was like asked you for a movie?
Yeah, because after I got done watching City of the Living Dead, I was sitting on Amazon and Dracula was sitting there and she was like, Daddy, what's that? And I said, that's the original Dracula movie, black and white. And she was like, Dracula Vampire. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I want to watch that. Can we go watch it?
I'm so proud.
See?
You
know what I'm saying?
She's going to grow up to be a proper horror fan. Unlike Jay.
When are you going to show her good horror movies?
Fuck you, Jay.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, I love you guys.
All right. Okay. Before we go super far into this memories of everything we've ever done on this damn show, let's get into a new ongoing segment that is going to be happening on this show. Now, the name will slightly change because each name will be done after what we're doing it after. But this first one is called The Birthday Bash. And what we're doing is we are all picking a movie from the year we were born, and we are going to fight them against each other. But we're not going to pick the winner. You people, the listeners, are going to pick the winner. After every show, we will put a poll up in the group, and you will vote on which movie wins. So we're going to do this in rounds. Each round is going to be 5 movies. And we are starting round 1 tonight. And at the end of it, however many rounds we do, we are going to pick a winner. Whoever had the absolute most wins in that thing. All right. So with that being said, I won going first, or lost. I'm not sure. And I was born in 1988. A
lucky bastard.
Stick and move.
So the movie I decided to pick, I decided to come out. I feel pretty strong. Not the strongest movie I've got, but I wanted to start with something that was special with me. So I decided, why not go with a movie that came out the exact fucking day I was born, and that is 1990. What the fuck? 1988's Night of the Demons. This movie is amazing from start to finish. The opening credit scene feels like it should have been put on some kind of children's Halloween cartoon, but it's fucking awesome seeing all the cool art designs. This movie has everything you want in a horror movie. It's got some decent kills. It's got gore. It's got tons of hot chicks, and the best part about that, you see parts of most of them. You've got Luana Quigley. I can never say her fucking name. Her first name I can never say, but Miss Quigley is in this movie. She's 30 playing an 18-year-old, but whatever. You've got her topless. You've got this Asian chick topless. You've got the main chick, the final girl. You got her bottomless. You get to see her ass, and that's very nice. You also get to see her boobs in a bra, and it's very, very, very good. You also get the Angela dance scene, which is fucking awesome. This movie was one that I love watching every Halloween because it has a good Halloween feel. You got pumpkins, you got people dressing up, you got parties, you've got demons coming through mirrors. What more can you ask for in a Halloween movie? And on top,
lipstick.
The lipstick scene fucked me so up good. As a kid. I saw that, and for the funniest part is forever I thought that was actually a scene in Tales from the Crypt's Demon Night instead of Night of the Demons, and I don't know why. And one of the best parts about this movie is actually a small throwaway scene at the end where the old guy who was a dick earlier in the very beginning of the movie ends up eating a fucking apple pie filled with razors that he had put in to give out to kids, and his throat just burst open. It is so fucking good.
That so much.
I mean, this scene is great. Angela as a demon
so good.
Is fucking awesome. I wish she would have caught on and become a whole series. Cause
this movie's garbage. Nobody should vote for it.
Yeah, you can't. This is the perfect 80s Halloween movie to me. And I think it wins because your two movies that I haven't heard yet can go eat a bowl of fuck. And that's Night of the Demons. So that's my movie. Without further ado, Jay, you're next. What do you got?
I picked Toxic Avenger for my first outing.
Oh, going with some trauma. Okay.
Yeah, I like it. It's good shit. Lots of practical gory effects and scenes that have nothing to do with the plot. But hey, children get run over, so that's something, right?
Yeah, you get points for that.
Lots of titties. You use titties as your point. There's lots of titties in this. And it started a huge franchise. There's 7 of these fucking movies.
There's
a video
4
game and a children's cartoon.
There's 4 movies, not 7. But thanks for playing.
I said like 7 of them. I thought there was a part 5, but I could be wrong.
No, there's not. There's only been 4. But you're
Either
right.
way.
There was a kids TV series, and I do think that TV series, that cartoon, did get a cartoon movie also.
Oh, maybe. Usually the cartoons like that, the movies, quote unquote, are just like the first 3 episodes on a VHS with the title movie in it.
That is actually 100% true. I have a VHS tape over here called Transformers the Movie, and it is literally like the first 3 or 4 episodes of the Transformers cartoon series.
Oh, that's funny because there is an actual Transformers the movie.
Exactly.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, a classic trauma. Like, that's one of the ones that everyone knows. Like, not everyone knows, like, Class of Nukem High or Kabuki Man NYPD or NYPD Kabuki Man, whatever it is. You know which one I'm talking about.
I do.
Lots of people know Toxic Avenger. And so much gore.
And if there was no Toxic Avenger, there
Classic
would
gore.
be no Guardians of the Galaxy. Or Slither.
Wait, what?
James Gunn got his start working on Tromeo and Juliet,
Oh,
which would
that's
not have
fucking
been
awesome.
possible had Toxic Avenger not been made. Toxic Avenger is really the movie that made and set forth Trauma. It literally, I mean, it's our fucking mascot. I mean, this movie's nowhere near as good as fucking Night of the Demons.
Must Die.
Like, we've got hot Asian tits in Night of the Demons and nice white girl ass. I mean, I don't know what you've got over there. Like, every set of titties over there looks like a reject from a strip club in South Georgia.
So false. They are 80s aerobics titties, and they're really nice. And then you have a nerd who becomes this beefy Toxic Avenger, if you will. Because he gets dumped in toxic waste, and so he grows muscles and his face melts. That makes sense logically. I think there's some real science behind that.
Yeah, and he starts banging a blind chick.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Wouldn't you? She's
Typically,
hot.
yes. I do, actually.
So
fair enough. Okay, well, with that being said, last but probably least, Kenneth.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna come up with against the titties and Night of the Demons and the nerd muscles, but I was born in 1983, and I got Anthony Perkins with me. Psycho 2.
Oh, motherfucker!
Damn it.
Ah.
I mean, I'll go into a little shtick here about how awesome the movie was and how great.
I just fucked it up too. God damn it.
And how great of a follow-up it was to the first movie, considering, we've all agreed in the past that, you and I have, and now Jay does, that Psycho 2 is probably one of the best sequels to ever be made.
I'll say this, as much as I don't want to support your competitor, the fact that the time lapse between movies was an actual time lapse within the continuity of the movies is fucking awesome.
You're right. I mean, I can keep going on with this, but
Go fuck yourself, Kenneth.
Like I said, it was one of the best sequels ever made.
Well, just remember, you just used a really heavy hitter first round. So
I got other ones.
We'll see. We'll see.
Fuck. I did
You'll
not.
all see.
I legit did not think he was coming out the gate with Psycho 2.
Oh, I didn't use my best movie out the gate either. I thought we could.
Trust me,
see.
I got a good one.
We'll see how this goes.
I don't think Kenneth would come out the gate with his number one, like his best movie, like Hidden in Darkness. I think he just wanted to make sure he put us on point that he's not fucking around.
So,
but that's okay.
You can take Toxie, and you can take Angela, and Norman Bates will fuck both of them up.
I don't know. Demon Angela would probably literally have anal sex with.
If we're talking about
Bates.
a physical fight, they'd both rip fucking Norman to shreds in the second, and then they'd go at each other.
I'm talking about as characters.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I don't mean like physical. I mean like, you know what I'm saying, the popularity characters, things like that. And then on top of that, I mean, Toxie was kind of the the movie that built Trauma. You know what I'm saying? And then Night of the Demons was really good, but I've also got Psycho 3. I got the first one. I'm still not going to consider 4 and whatever that
Whoa.
was.
You can't bring in those other movies. Those weren't from your year.
No, we're talking about as a franchise.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't win on franchise marks. But here's the thing. If we were making a porno involving all these 3 movies, I would much rather watch the porno that involves Angela as a demon having sex with the Toxic Avenger while Norman Bates records it through a hole in the wall.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
That would be pretty awesome.
So
maybe that's what we should start doing. We should start taking horror movies and taking things from characters from each one and just making pornos out of them.
Just have people give us like 3 horror movies and we somehow have to make those into a porno.
You write a plot to the porn.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like we'll do a Facebook. We'll do a live video we can do through Google Hangout and put it on YouTube and have them do it there. So we have to do it live.
That's a new Patreon perk.
There you go.
Donate $5 and you can pick any 3 movies and we'll write a porn script for you.
Well, we'll write a porn synopsis. I'm not writing a whole script.
Right.
I don't want
I'll write a whole
I don't want to explain how Angela won't go ass to mouth, but she'll take a shot in the face from fucking good old Tromy.
That toxic cum, man.
Yeah, for real.
Would it melt her face?
I don't know, because I'm not sure what powers the demon has and what it doesn't have. But with that being said, guys, keep an eye out. A couple of days after this podcast comes out, there will be a poll, and you will get to vote in that poll, and the winner will get the point, and we'll discuss it on like the next episode that we record.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose that one. Because I feel like, man, fuck, Psycho 2, god damn it.
Yeah, he got us there.
Yeah, I just did not expect Psycho 2 to come out of there. So, guys, we have recorded this episode right here will be episode 37 of Kill the Cast, not including the HorrorPack episodes or the KFC episodes, but this is episode 37. We started out with...
Does that include the Side of the Road episodes?
Yes, those were officially numbered.
Okay.
So we did City of the Living Dead first. I'm just going to go through. These are everything we've done so far. City of the Living Dead, which was just me and Jay. Then I Saw the Devil, which was Kenneth and I. Then we did episode 3, the first time we all 3 came together for The Prowler and The Witch.
Oh, that was a good episode.
And we came together.
We came together over how much of a missed opportunity The Witch is. So, then me and Kenneth did The Black Cat from 1934, which is Alex and the Skeleton Crew's one of his favorite episodes. Then we all came back together to do Halloween 1978, which... We probably...
Wow, that was our 5th episode?
5th episode. We probably really should have waited before we did that.
Yeah, we should do that one again.
Maybe for another anniversary, we'll do that. I'll see when it came out.
That way I can spend another hour and a half talking about how it's not the greatest horror movie of all time.
Well, yeah, we all agreed with that.
We actually all agreed that, but we are in the minority there. We're the hugest minority I've ever seen. So episode 6 was Phantasm, which was fantastic. I think we had some really, really good stuff with Phantasm. That was all 3 of us again. Episode 7 was Alligator, which was just Kenneth and I. Episode 8 was The Village, which is by far one of my favorite episodes we've ever recorded.
I agree.
Yeah, it's fun.
I really, really, really like when people are like, "Hey, I want to listen to your show." I was like, "What?" Well, this is one of my favorites, so listen to that because we knocked that one out of the fucking park.
Correct. Number 9 was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was just Kenneth and I.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a really good one. We got some props on that episode from Jamie Sammons from ABC's of Hidden Horror.
I sure wish I was on that episode.
Yeah. Episode 10 was Hush, which was the first time that someone asked for us to do a movie and we did it.
Yeah, and it was the first time we did a relatively new movie too, because that had just hit Netflix.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, because before that, I mean, we had our conversation on The Witch, but we really didn't review The Witch.
Right.
So episode 11 was Evil Dead the Musical, which was actually just Reese and I, because that was supposed to be the setup for that October where we did the entire Evil Dead series.
Which that fucking cursed ass episode, man.
We recorded that, 3 times? And each time there was just huge fucking issues.
Yep. The audio didn't sync.
It was one
it
time
didn't record at all.
One time it just didn't record me. And then the third time it had all these audio glitches in it that were like really, really bad. So instead, we did episode 12, Movie Rental Store Memories, which
I like that one too.
Was just a lot of fun. We just got together and talked a lot about movies. And Kenneth had a lot to say on that one, from between him like describing the creepy corner of his childhood rental store to him actually going and working at a Blockbuster, or where you worked at a Blockbuster, right?
Mm-hmm. I worked at a Blockbuster.
Both of you worked at a Cockbuster. Got it.
Yeah.
Did you know that, like, I watched this thing, and I don't know whether y'all caught it on Facebook, but it was like a little short video of a Blockbuster still open in Alaska.
Yep,
yeah,
they do still have one open there.
Say what?
I said, yeah, they do definitely still have one open there.
Yeah, I'm going to go there.
Episode 12 was... no, that was episode 12. Episode 13 was A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is also one of the best shows we've ever done.
Yeah, because it's a great movie that everyone loves.
Because it has huge flaws in it that people love to ignore.
Yep.
Then... The second biggest travesty we've ever recorded, episode 14, Brain Scan.
Yep.
This is one that I really do want to redo. I ruined this episode because I was so fucked up on NyQuil.
Don't take all the blame. We all, I didn't bring my A game either.
Yeah, we all kind of just shat on that one.
Yeah, but it went from just a kind of meh episode to ruined because... So, while I do all the recording, and I thought that if I muted my Skype, it would just not record me, but my microphone is directly recorded, so it didn't matter. So you could hear my coughing all the way through it. So they couldn't hear it, but it was still on the recording, and I ruined that episode. And, I was really fucked up on NyQuil. I was on NyQuil for 2 weeks straight during that. But, episode 15... is amazing because that's the 90s sitcom Halloween specials for Christmas, where we covered an episode of Roseanne Martin and Married with Children, and that is the episode that also kickstarted Alex to want to do the Married with Children podcast, which I now do with him. So
didn't you buy the entire Married with Children box set just so you could rip the one episode we were trying to cover?
I did. I 100% bought it so I could rip that one episode because Jay couldn't find it. It couldn't come up anywhere.
Yep.
Episode 16 was The Last Armadillo on the Side of the Road, which is a variety show that Kenneth and I did where we just talked about multiple topics. Episode 17 was the second episode of the new year, and that's where we made Jay watch The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, we didn't finish that series where New Year, New Jay.
Well, that's
we only got 2 movies into it.
We are coming up on a new year. I think we should switch to 2 Hammer horror movies this time.
I got 6 more Blu-rays that are gonna go unwatched that you bought me if we don't cover these fucking movies.
That's true. We do. I guess we'll have to do that also.
We'll sprinkle a couple in there. Oh, yeah, I want to watch The Wolfman. I'm actually excited for that one.
You need to do The Wolfman and Frankenstein actually. So maybe that's what we'll do those. In January, February, we'll try to throw those 2 in there. Episode 18 was a movie Jay suggested to us. He Never Died.
Yeah, I like that one. And I like the episode because you guys were like, eh. And I was like, yeah.
Well, it wasn't that we were like, eh. It's that we were like, hold up, this shit makes no religious sense.
Right.
So, that's fine, though. Episode 19 was Dracula from 1931, where we continued the fun of showing Jay old horror movies for him to not like.
I can still appreciate them, though. Let's not forget that. I made that a caveat of every episode.
Wow, dropping those big words.
Yeah.
So episode 20 was the last Alex on the Side of the Bone Road, where I invited Alex to come review a movie with us, and we got halfway through the review before we just started basically doing an interview with Alex from the Skeleton Crew and Married with Children podcast. So that
turned out to be fun.
That was really fun, and it kickstarted my wanting to do these interview episodes, which we'll get into those here soon. Episode 21 was our very first horror coliseum, Alien versus the Thing. And
that was so good.
That honestly, the horror coliseum is my favorite thing that we do, to be honest with you. And we've got some ideas for some more, so we will get into those here in the new year, most likely. Episode 22 was Psycho 3, which Kenneth and I wanted to record an episode, and so we asked Alex, what did he want to hear? He said he said Spider Baby, but I didn't own Spider Baby.
The fuck is Spider Baby?
It's a movie, it's an old movie, it's got Lon Chaney Jr. and Sid Haig in it. Sid Haig's like a kid, though.
Huh, that's fucking interesting.
So episode...
But yeah, we analyzed the shit out of Psycho 3.
Yeah, we went fucking deep on Psycho.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody analyze that movie so deep.
Now that I've watched them, I wouldn't mind doing a Psycho show where we cover 1 through 4 together as a group.
That might be fun. We might have to do that. I don't know if we can fucking go... Like, I might just have to be like... Episode 3, we'll talk about it a little bit, but then everyone just go listen to Psycho 3, because we literally... We went so far fucking deep in that.
Well, that's fine.
It was ridiculous.
You should listen to that episode, Jay.
Yeah.
I should. And then I'll argue with you. I'll just record the points.
Yeah. So, episode 23 was Best of the 80s, which was one of the funnest episodes to prep for, and one of the funnest to record. I really, really like that one. Episode 24 was Last House on the Left, which was Kenneth, me, and Mr. Watson. Jay was supposed to be there. Something happened.
I was sick or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, you were
Something
dying
happened.
or some shit. AIDS or something. I don't remember.
Probably. That makes a whole lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, we also went super fucking deep on Last House on the Left. We brought up some shit that I never hear people talk about when it comes to that movie.
You know,
Yeah,
I just
we
bought
actually-
that. I bought that unrated version on Blu-ray just recently.
Nice.
Best Buy had it for like $8. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
It wasn't the
I think,
remake?
No, it's the original. It says
Nice.
copyright 1970, whatever, on the back of it.
Nice.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I think people some people actually didn't like how far we went into Last House on the Left.
Yeah, some people did say I think it's mostly because we dropped a lot of the humor that we normally do, and we were just like completely analyzing this fucking movie. So,
Yeah, I mean between the three of us, it was, we went way deep into that one.
And after that, we took a little bit of a break, but we came back pretty strong with episode 25, which was Reanimator. Which I also Jay, you picked that one also, didn't you?
I think, yeah, either you gave me a list or you're just like, what movies do we want to do? And I was like, yeah, fucking Reanimator.
Yeah, and then for some reason we followed that up with Puppet Master, which has one of the greatest just offside conversations about suicide and hookers you will ever hear.
Oh, man, yeah, I almost felt kind of bad for anybody listening to that. Like, that was kind of a personal conversation that we were just like, well, here we go.
Yeah. So, show 27 was The Last Shot at the End of the Bar, where I interviewed JP of 22 Shots. That was fucking awesome. We got to hear about him having sex while watching the VHS of A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4.
I want to have sex while watching a Serbian film.
Wow. Okay, probably the baby rape scene, right?
Yeah, damn.
Just in general. Like,
Just
put
in
it on
general.
and then go until it's over.
Fair enough.
I also realized that my copy that I own is not the fucking unrated, so all the good shit is cut out.
Well, just wait. They're
I'm
dropping
very
another
sad.
version of it here shortly.
Thank God, because
Shit, man. You talking about
unrated
fucking for the
DVD
whole movie. I wouldn't make it through the opening credits.
the unrated DVD costs a lot of fucking money on eBay. If you can get it before eBay fucking pulls it.
That's very true. What I was going to say, if I was going to have sex to a movie to make it awkward, I would have sex during Nicolas Cage's 8mm.
Wow. Yeah.
That's just how I roll. So anyway.
I might as well just go cannibal.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, we still need to do that movie, too.
We do. I can't find that fucking burned copy of it, so I think I'm going to have Kenneth go take the copy to my dad and make him rip it for me. So,
Rip it.
Yeah, rip it real good.
Well, I'm probably going to be coming up to your house in a few weeks or a month or so I'll probably just bring it with me.
Oh, okay. Well, show 28 was The Scare House, where we had director Gavin Michael Booth come on and talk about the movie with us, and that was a fucking awesome episode.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of fun.
Episode 29 was me and Kenneth interviewing Dave Z of Exploding Heads, the ABCs of Hidden Horror, formerly of Banana Laser.
Banana Laser?
And that was a good one. That one went fucking long. I think at the time, that was the longest episode. I think it got beat by a show coming up here in a minute. But episode 30, we did Horror Coliseum. Number 2, Silence of the Lambs versus 7 for the title of Greatest 90s Thriller Ever.
That was a great show.
I think our Horror Coliseum episodes are awesome.
That show was great because we got to discuss how Kenneth sees pop culture very different than Jay and I. That shit was fucking great. Okay. Show 31 was Best of the 2000s, featuring JP of 22 Shots and Dave Z of Exploding Heads. I had already interviewed them. JP was actually supposed to be the one that was supposed to be on the show, and then last minute, Dave Z made a list and came on with us, and that show was fucking epic. Holy shit, that show was long. But it was fantastic. Show 32 was the anime double feature. Jay missed out on this one also. I can't remember what happened.
There was personal shit going on.
Yeah, and that's fine. As long as I'm here, something will get recorded. And we did Wicked City and Perfect Blue. That was I don't think a lot of people listened to that show, but it was a lot of fun because the people who did listen to it and did end up watching the movies actually liked it. People that had never been in anime watched both the movies and liked them both.
That's good.
So that was good. Episode 33 was one Kenneth did not make. It actually was Black Xmas from 2006. And it was me, Jay, and Carly from Netflix and Chill and the Unofficial HorrorPack podcast. And that was great because Jay's dumb. I let Jay do Black Christmas because he loves it. The Black Christmas remake.
But now we have one of the best repeating jokes ever.
And this motherfucker watches Humanoids from the Deep.
Yeah, he gave me the choice of both. And I was like, oh, Black Christmas. I fucking love that movie. And then, like, the day before, I'm putting away my laundry. I'm like, well, I better watch the movie. And I fucking put on Humanoids of the Deep because that's just all I could remember from that conversation.
Oh, my God. And then with episode 34, 35, and 36, that was our Underground Trilogy where we did Digging Up the Marrow, Marabito, and Nightbreed.
Yeah.
So, 30, this is episode 37. In 2 years, we have done 37 episodes, and I am the only one who's been on all of them.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can't host, so...
That's true. We also did 2 commentaries. We did the creature feature commentaries. We've done Python and Critters.
Yeah.
And coming up, we'll be doing Carnosaur.
Which you should check out on the Horrorphilia website, because the commentaries come equipped with the full-on movie.
Yeah, you get to watch the movie with us. You can download it on a USB, throw it in your PS4 or your fancy TV, and watch it there, on your couch with a hand down your pants.
Yeah, like...
Exactly the way I'm sitting.
You're listening to it.
Yeah.
With one thumb outside your wristband? Your waistband?
No, my whole hand's in my shit, man.
He goes beyond the Al Bundy.
Yeah, my whole hand's in there.
So yeah, we've done some great stuff. There's a giant back catalog. Some of the earlier stuff is a little rough, but we definitely improved pretty quickly. I will say that, especially after the Phantasm episode. I think after that we really started hitting strides and really, really getting good episodes. So for those who have been here since the beginning, for those who have just joined us, for those who joined somewhere in between, thank you for listening, for joining us. I'm super stoked to do 2 more years. No more than 2 more years, though, because then I'm going to get too big of a head, and I'm possibly going to go move on to the E! Network television as a host for the soup.
Nice.
Not really. But with
that thing is still a thing.
At least you're getting paid then.
Exactly. Speaking of getting paid, we have a Patreon. Force us to watch shit. That's what every podcast Patreon should be, like, subtitled. Force us to watch shit.
Yeah.
And speaking of
Jerry's force Jerry to watch shit. He's the only one that gets the money.
Well, I got bills to pay. So, speaking of Patreon, though, I actually do have a Patreon video. Our Patreon view, I've got a knockout. Derek, the same guy that gave us Executive Koala, said, Jerry, come back and do another Asian film. I want you to do Tag by Sion Sono, the same guy who did Suicide Club. And I think both of you would enjoy this movie because, okay, how do I explain this shit? There's a bunch of Japanese schoolgirls on buses, on not like school buses, but like buses.
I like where this is going.
Buses.
Hell yeah, I've seen a lot of those videos.
Yeah, buses you travel, but it's all girls. There's no guys. This is a Japanese school that's only for women. And
that sounds good.
Your main character is sitting there writing in her poetry book as all the other girls hit each other with pillows and feathers float around everywhere. It's
Wait, are we still talking about this movie, or are you talking about Scare House?
You funny. So, and your main character for right now is Mitsuko. I can't pronounce fucking Japanese names. But, so basically the bus in front of them gets cut in half. Horizontally, not vertically.
That's so cool.
And then their bus gets cut in half, but because Mitsuko was on her knees at the time, she did not get cut in half. And she gets off the bus and there's bodies everywhere. There's tons of fucking Japanese schoolgirls fucking slaughtered, all cut in half.
God, I'm turned on.
Bodies fucking everywhere. Literally, drowning pool guy is coming back from the dead so he can write bodies hit the ground too. Or hit the floor, whatever the fuck that song was called. I don't know. I don't listen to Korn.
Well, nothing's wrong with me.
It kind of sounds like the beginning of Ghost Ship.
That silence right
of.
there is what happens when you bring up Ghost Ship.
I don't care what you say. I enjoyed Ghost Ship. I thought it was a good movie.
So anyway, so then we get some Sam Raimi-like camera action as the wind chases her down the road and slices a few other people in half. She finally makes it to this, like, pond. And keep in mind, there's snow on the ground. So it's cold. And this like, lake, creek, whatever it is littered with dead bodies. She falls into it and finally climbs out of it. She finds some other clothes and she changes it into them. Now, there is no nudity in this movie, but there is a lot of gratuitous panty shots. So there is that.
Japanese.
Yes. So
They love their panties.
she puts on this other schoolgirl uniform and then starts running, and eventually she runs into another school where it's all of her classmates who are like, why the fuck are you acting so weird and why are you freaking out about the wind? Well, so they convince her that everything's okay. They're all very lesbian-like. There's one that's all like metal, and she's like fuck the world and shit. And they all skip class and go down to the pond, lake. I don't know what the fuck it is. And while they're there, they're talking about how can you change destiny or not? And the only way to change destiny is to just do something unexpected out of nowhere that you would have never have done. And the metal chick talks about that, and then she pretends to go jump in the water, but she doesn't. And then we have a scene randomly of an alligator coming out of the water and just biting her crotch repeatedly.
What the fuck? This sounds amazing.
And then, but then we find out that never happens, and it was just her saying this could happen if you had done something unexpected. You never know. So they beat each other with pillows again.
Do you have a digital copy of this?
It's on Netflix,
Oh, okay.
by the way.
Fuck
so.
me.
And so then they go back to school, and then their teacher shows up with a, like, big Tommy gun-like Gatling gun and starts fucking shooting everyone. And then she starts running again and gets away, and then it goes into another story where people recognize her again, and they're like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And the same kind of shit happens again and again and again until it's finally explained, which I'm not going to tell. Because holy shit, did I not see this ending coming? And who the fuck thought this? Like, Sion Sono is, like, I know he comes up with some crazy ass shit, like Suicide Club, and oh my god, fucking Strange Circus is fucking shot out. And this movie is nowhere near, like, as fucked up as Strange Circus is, but just the fact that he sat around and thought up this ending and thought up this concept, I'm just like, I'm blown the fuck away.
I kind of want you to tell me off the microphone.
I'm not going to tell you. Really just have to watch it. I think the movie's like an hour and a half. I will say this. Towards the end, it starts to drag a little bit, and I'm like, okay, come on, pick it up. But then there's this really fucking awesome special effect that if you're a fan of a certain vein pulling scene in Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I don't know which one, 3 maybe, you will like this certain scene that happens. But this movie's fucking batshit insane. Let's put it this way. At one point, they're in a church, and she's walking down the aisle, and then at first all the whole church is filled with women. And at first, they're all, like, being nice, and then they start, like, talking shit and spitting on her, and then they all start taking off their clothes, and then the fucking casket at the top opens where her groom would be, and it's a fucking dude in a tuxedo and a fucking pig mask. And I don't mean, like, a pig mask. I mean, like, a fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre pig head that he's fucking wearing.
That sounds amazing.
It's fucking just...
I need to watch this.
It's fucking insane. And then the ending's fucking just weird as shit, and it's awesome. I fucking love this movie. I love Sion Sono. He does some crazy shit, and I really fucking like it. It's really out there. Unlike most of his other movies, I only had to watch this once, and I think I pretty much got it for the most part. Thank you, Derek, for picking this one. I hope your next Patreon pick is as good as fucking this one, because this movie was fucking excellent. 2 thumbs up from me, Derek. Fantastic fucking job at recommending a movie. I fucking loved it.
Good job.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I guess it's time to get into our main course tonight. Jay came up with the idea when we were talking about what to do for an anniversary show. And Jay said, I want to go back and do City of the Living Dead because Kenneth was not there with us. And right. I agree. I fuck it. That's a great idea. Let's do that. And
yay!
Yeah,
yay!
Kenneth gets to be involved. Eventually, every year we'll just remake a show that one of us missed.
One year we'll actually get around to fucking Evil Dead.
Don't say that. This fucking whole recording might crash. And the cool thing about us doing City of the Living Dead right now is 22 Shots every November does Italian Horror Month, where they run through a shit ton of Italian horror movies. Each episode is based on a certain director. The first episode they did was for this month, for this year, was a episode on Dario Argento. And they've got 3 other directors coming up. So it's kind of cool because our thing actually lines up with their Italian Horror Month. So we're jumping on Italian Horror Month with City of the Living Dead, which is a 1980 horror movie from Italian director Lucio Fulci. It holds a 6.3 rating on IMDb and a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, which cue Kenneth saying, fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
Fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is garbage, though.
Yeah, they are. They're fucking shit.
That it is. So, now, okay, for Jay and I, we've actually already walked through this movie before and explained it, so we'll see how our opinions have changed. But, Kenneth, you were not there for the first time, so if you will, sir, how do you feel about City of the Living Dead?
I really, I enjoyed it. This is the first time I have watched it in almost 20 years.
Wow, holy shit, 20 years?
Yeah, I was probably, the first time I watched this movie, I think I was 16 years old, and that was the only time I watched it.
Damn.
So, yeah, and I'll be 36 in 2019, so almost 20 years.
Holy shit, all right.
Yeah,
Good job.
So this is the first time I watched it, and there were some of the key scenes that, you know how, like, when it's a long period of time, and you watch a movie, your mind can fabricate things that you thought looked the way they did, but then when you watch it, it looked completely different, and you're like, oh, well, fuck.
Did you remember Bob getting it in the eye instead of in the temple?
No, what I remembered was I had actually completely forgotten about that scene, but when I was watching it earlier today, I had to, like, pause it and try to figure out how they did the effect, and I figured it out. But
was it
no,
the eyes bleeding scene?
No, it was the chick. Well, yeah, but the next part of it, not the bleeding.
You're talking about the guts?
Yeah, the guts.
Oh, we went over that in the episode. I actually remember that conversation because Jerry explained what happened.
Yeah, I explained how they did that.
Like, she had to actually eat them and then vomit them up, right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah, she legit had, like, ate them and vomited them up. Except for the scene where it's just her mouth, which is obviously a fake head, and they have it pushing out. But the scenes where you see her full face, she is legitly throwing up intestines.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking dedication right there.
But the way that it looked and everything, I remembered that happening. But I couldn't remember exactly the way it looked, and so seeing it this time around, it was just as good as I remembered it being, even though it didn't look the same as I remember.
That's good.
In that scene though, I love the fucking eyes bleeding. I love how they did that. I love how they used the hair to help block the small tube that's running to her eye for the blood to come out. Like, fucking, I love the way her eyes look when they're bleeding. I gotta throw that out there.
I love when people's eyes bleed too.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought, it was a good movie. One of my favorite things about the movie was the music. I really, really like the music. I looked up some of the filming locations, and actually the
Savannah,
cemetery,
Georgia.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna head down there at some point in time, and go check it out and see if it looks even anywhere near the same.
That would be fucking awesome, actually.
Right. But overall, I mean, it was a good movie. You know, there were some things that I'm looking at it like, okay, like I wish that it was a little more difficult than just to stab a zombie in the stomach with a wooden cross or
stomach
or a piece
my
of
ass.
rebar.
He stabbed him in the dick.
Either well. All right, what about the chick, the blonde chick, close to the end of it? I mean, he just stabbed her in the stomach with what looked like a piece of rebar. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, but the one cool thing about when he stabs her is that when he pulls it out, like, there's weight to her shirt, so it looks like intestines come out. But you're right. Why did they go down? Why did she go down off of fucking one stab?
I mean, yeah, that was it. And the same thing with the preacher at the end of it. I mean, it's just one stab with this wooden cross, and that's the end. Everything is over. And I'm like, that was kind of fucking lame. I guess
the ending of this movie is not very good.
There's quite a few issues with this movie, in my opinion.
I mean, the best thing about the movie, looking at it now, was just the effects.
Yeah.
That was it.
So
the storyline was all right.
Yeah, like, but this movie feels so fucking disjointed to me. As you go through the movie, like there's the opening scenes of the seance in New York, and then the priest hanging himself in the cemetery, which I never noticed. I don't remember bringing this up when we did it last time, but the priest floated up to the noose. Like, there was no stepping on anything. He floated up to the noose. Did y'all notice that?
All right. No.
Yeah, no, I did not.
There's no fucking stepping. He just like he just goes right up to it, puts his neck in, and then falls. Like, but he floats up to it, which is fucking. weird. But then the you go to Mary dies. The detective shows up and he's like giving them all a third degree. Like, you've all got warrants. You were selling drugs before. You know,
where are the drugs?
Where are the fucking drugs? Are you on grass?
There's
Are
a
you
fucking
on
dead
coke?
body on the ground though. He's like, yeah, well, the drugs.
Yeah. So he makes like such a big deal, and then the fire scene happens, which I will say that fire scene does not work. You can tell the film reversal on it.
It's just so weird.
So,
it's so weird.
So that happens, and you think this is going to be a big thing because the detective makes such a big deal out of all this. You never see that motherfucker again.
Nope.
Not once. Like, what the fuck just happened? And that was weird. And then, like, right after that, you get close to the scene where you first see Bob, and he's going to get his blow-up doll, and he just throws it on the ground and it blows up itself. How does that happen? Now, I don't know much about fucking blow-up dolls, so I'll go to the expert. Kenneth, how does that fucking work?
No, I don't know, man. I mean, I was thinking the same thing when I was watching the movie. I'm like, okay.
So you guys know those automatic inflatable air mattresses? Same thing.
I was thinking more along the lines of a fucking emergency boat.
It has to be more like that.
There you go. Same thing.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, it's it's an emergency fuck toy. You just throw it and poof.
Yeah, so that happens, and then we see this fucking fetus on the ground that's covered in fucking worms and mud and shit like that. And it's just like, this whole scene is odd. That's an odd way to introduce the Bob character.
Fucking Bob.
The more
I thought the house that he was at was really, really creepy, though. I liked, that's one thing that I can honestly say about this movie is that it seems like the atmosphere, the creepy atmosphere, is a whole lot better than the movie itself.
Yeah.
Because making the creepy look of everything going on was so much better than, the story that it was creepy for.
I agree. The story for this movie has a lot of issues, but the special effects are really good, and the atmosphere is really good. I love the music for this movie. I do not think it works in the movie. Like, it just never, like, there's scenes where like the music will start and then it'll just stop randomly, something will happen, and then it'll just start back up and you're like, what the fuck?
So the editing for the music is not good, but I feel like the music itself
I love the soundtrack.
Is great and works fine.
The ending song of this episode will be a song that samples this soundtrack.
Yeah, you finally get to pick one.
Yeah, and I'm going with I wanted to see, has anyone sampled this music in ever? And it turns out someone I listened to has sampled it. So we'll get to that later.
Is it somebody I've listened to?
I don't know because it's hip hop.
Well, I like hip hop. We'll see though. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, so yeah, the introduction of Bob is fucking weird, and then we jump to this fucking bar where the mirrors crack, and they're like, dude, what the fuck? Since Father Thomas died, shit's going weird. We need to get out of here. And the bartender's like, guys, literally a truck just drove by, and it was vibration and some shit. Come have a beer. Then the fucking wall splits open, and it's like, you know what? Never mind. We're all gonna fucking die. Everyone's just fucking out.
Hey, I have to stop you right there. This is completely off the subject of the movie that we're talking about at this current moment. But I decided, since you said it was on Netflix, to put on Tag on the TV. Oh my God.
Right?
Dude.
But no, seriously though, turn it off and watch it. You need to watch it where you can pay attention to it.
I just wanted to see that opening sequence, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, the top of the bus just comes off. Just whoop.
Yep, it's fucking fantastic. But anyway,
back enough. I'm sorry.
Back to this movie. So we find out that the ancestors here in Dunwich were Salem witch burners, which one makes no fucking sense. And if you don't believe me, just ask Jamie Salmons that, and she will fuck you up for even bringing up Salem witches. But so what? Everyone just fled to Dunwich, New York, because Salem is not in New York, correct?
Nope.
No.
And as far, well, technically we don't know where Dunwich is. I just assumed it was in New York because they drove from New York City to Dunwich in like a day. So I'm just assuming it's there. But anyway,
I guess.
So
I guess I don't know.
Then we jump to
I don't know how all that. Ask. You know who you need to ask?
Who?
Ask Alex if everything is easily accessible up there.
He's in New Jersey.
Yeah, but New Jersey's right next to New York, and I mean,
That's
you know.
true.
That is true.
Correct, Omundo.
You have a point. So then we do another fucking. Let's jump to a random fucking scene and introduce characters. This is what does the entire movie. It jumps scenes to introduce characters. So we have like the therapist talking to another chick who's holding a cat, and then another chick comes in, and at the end of it, you're just like, this was literally here just to introduce characters. One that's gonna die like in the next fucking scene anyway.
Right.
So it just does this over and over. But we gotta talk about one of the biggest scenes, the cemetery scene where Mary is in the coffin. So one, that blonde, the blonde guy, he's from Cannibal Holocaust. In case you didn't know, the blonde guy who works at the graveyard.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it.
Yep, he is from there. But like, so Mary's in the coffin. She wakes up, and our reporter dude goes over there to start busting it open with a fucking pickaxe. And I'm like, why would you throw a pickaxe at the fucking head of the coffin? Throw it at the fucking feet or something.
He's the world's greatest detective.
I even think about this. Okay, how do you know? I mean, both sides of the coffin look exactly the same. So, I thought about that. I was thinking that myself when I was watching the movie. I was like, man, God damn, why would you be dumb enough to fucking sling that pickaxe?
Okay, but
where somebody's face is going to be? But how would he know which side the face?
Because all grave plots are done a certain fucking, like, they're not put in there just willy nilly. They're planned out. They're fucking in order.
No. Okay. I will differ from you. And and I would not give you this information if number one, this conversation had not been had literally yesterday between me and my mom. And then number two, because it's needed for the podcast, but this is kind of personal. All right. My grandparents are buried right next to each other my grandfather died first and my grandmother died later. My grandfather died in 93. My grandmother died in 99. All right. They buried my grandfather's head at the stone. And when they put my grandmother in there, they buried her feet at the stone.
Was there any reason for that? Or?
Nope.
They were just like
that way. And then my mom actually said something about it, and they wouldn't change it for whatever reason. So I mean, but my mom really didn't give me a whole lot of details. But that is the way my grandparents are buried.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll take that. Well, speaking of this, let's get into. Okay, Kenneth, you never responded. You messaged us earlier today, saying that the priest would not get buried in the cemetery if he had committed suicide.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it when I put it. Okay, he wouldn't get buried in the Catholic, like right next to the Catholic Church, because the suicide is an unforgivable sin.
Correct.
So therefore, the Catholics will not bury their priests there.
Correct.
Because they immediately get excommunicated or whatever. But then you brought up the point about the family plot, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, you never responded to that, so I didn't know if you had accepted my answer or not.
I was busy or whatever else, and then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, because I thought about it after you said it. It made perfect sense.
Okay, fair enough. I had to check. Hey, have y'all ever watched, like, porn from, like, Russia?
What the fuck kind of segue is that?
I'm sure I have at some point.
Bob looks like those fucking guys in the Czech Republic porn that are like paying someone to let him sleep with their girlfriend.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you? Does he not look like that guy? Like, they always have this fucking white guy who's got a big forehead and his eyes look sunken in. And he's always like paying someone to sleep with their girlfriend.
Sure.
Look,
yeah.
You know what? I will fucking pull a Father Thomas and force feed you a bunch of worms and mud like he did to Emily, Jay, if you don't get up on your fucking Russian porn.
Okay.
I didn't know Gotham was on Netflix.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What? You get off of Netflix. We're podcasting.
So,
I am at least in the conversation, so I am in the conversation.
We find out Mary's alive, and Mary's like, the priest hanging himself could open the gates of hell. We have to close the gates of hell because the Book of Enoch says it. And I'm like, I don't think they did any research on the Book of Enoch when they wrote this. They were just like, that shit sounds cool. We're using it.
Yeah, I've got it.
What is it? Is it what they say it is at all?
No. It's more of a chronicle of like the hierarchy of angels in heaven.
Oh, that's badass. I kind of want to read that then.
Yeah,
that's more of what it's like.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and I just don't know why they were the whole time they're just like the Book of Enoch predicts the future, and I'm like, bitch, what are you fucking talking about?
You think to yourself, you're like, where?
Bitch, where?
Bitch, where?
Like, I was just like, what the fuck? But anyway, back to that bar that we're going to go to again for some reason. So, Bob apparently a couple of years ago tried to fuck a 13-year-old in the woods or something. I'm assuming Bob. She's 13 because they say a couple of years ago, and we see her later on in the scene where Bob actually dies and she's smoking weed and not wearing a bra. So I'm assuming she's at least 17 or 16 there.
And the crazy thing is that she didn't seem like she was all shaken up about Bob.
No, for such a fucking event to happen where they were like, no, Bob was, doing some creepy shit. Good thing we found her. She's all like, oh, hey, Bob. Oh, I just needed a place to sleep. Sweet, you want to smoke a fucking joint? Like,
right.
Really?
I mean, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't seem like she's bothered by Bob at all.
Also, this is like the first time this entire movie where Bob comes off as fucking normal. Like, every other time he looks strung out or he's a dick to Emily, who I still don't know why Emily was going to see him. They never explain that. And she's like, I don't know why people fucking hate him. Well, apparently because he tried to fuck a 13-year-old, and you're not allowed to do that. And if you don't believe me, ask Kevin Spacey.
Oh, man. Fucking too soon.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck either. If you think I give a fuck, then you don't know me.
Yeah, so and they talk about 5 people have disappeared in 48 hours. And then we go back to what the fuck is the point of the scene where Mary and the reporter are stopped on the side of the road and he's looking at the map and she's like, I'm hungry. And
I thought they were going to fuck.
I thought they were going to fuck too. And that's another thing. This reporter gets the fuzzy end of the lollipop that is in his glove compartment because, as far as we know, he never bangs this chick. And this whole time, we feel like they are trying to fuck, and they never do. And he gets his head crushed in by fucking zombies that apparently have the ability to instant transmission. I guess they fucking went to Planet Yardra, wherever Goku went, because they can do that also. Which also makes no sense when they open Father Thomas's grave and they're like, he must have broke out from the other side. And I'm like, broke out? He can do instant transmission. He can just appear fucking places. What do you mean broke out? Also, he has instant transmission. How did he get stabbed in the dick? He should have fucking put fingers to forehead and got the fuck out of there.
Or fingers to forehead. Or that spot where it's like he's intentionally trying to scare people. I mean, it's just I thought that was ludicrous. Where the two people, the chick that pukes her guts up, they're sitting there, and then all of a sudden they see him swinging, and then not. I didn't understand that. It's like, why are you trying to? I didn't understand it. It's like, okay, you're supposed to. You want to make them a little uneasy first before you kill them. For what?
Well, you know what? The only thing I'll say to that is, she talks about how the Book of Enoch is all about the fear of humankind. And you have the psychiatrist all the time being told that the person died of fear. So maybe it's a Freddy thing where he's got to get him all revved up in fear juices, and that helps him open the gates of hell that I never get to see open. I guess it's because apparently it's in underground in Savannah, Georgia, or something. I don't know.
I still think it's stupid.
I know, I agree with you, but I like those scenes. I love seeing priests being hung. So I love
hung priests too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan there. What I'm not a big fan of in this movie is how many times do I have to see a fucking camera shot of someone's eyes? And how many times do I have to have...
loves eyes.
He fucking loves eyes, but yet he doesn't stab a single eye out in this movie.
No, he just insinuates.
No, he doesn't insinuate. He cock teases.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Fucking Fulci and his cock teasing eyeballs. So speaking of cock teasing, there's a little kid in here named John. Who
John. Good old John.
Good old John. His sister is the one who was one of the chicks that got killed. Emily, the one who's banging the psychiatrist. And like,
it's unfortunate too. She was hot.
She is really fucking hot, actually. But there's a scene where he runs to his mom and he's like, Emily's back from the dead and she's trying to kill me. And I'm just thinking from a parent's point of view how traumatizing it would be to have your youngest son tell you that your daughter who just died today is already back and trying to kill him.
It did seem like they were a little chill about it, you know. Maybe they smoked a joint before he ran up there.
That could actually be very fucking true. Now,
got a little bump of the hair on?
Yeah. That's hey, you know, sometimes that fine china gets you through. You know what I'm saying, Dan Chase?
Word.
So here's my question for
man. Fuck Dan Chase.
For you, Jay. After you get, well, you're gonna have one after you get done from a nice therapy session where a cat bites you. Do you go home to paint floating rhino heads that float above beaches where the wave crashes?
I really thought that painting was cool.
There's nothing else to do but paint floating rhino heads.
Well, I'll have to remember that when I go into therapy here soon, because apparently that's what you do. But we get another scene of a dead body showing up here. No one really gives a shit. What we do give a shit about is Bob being caught by Ross. And that cock teasing habit.
Bob Ross.
Oh shit! You're fucking right. Bob gets caught by Ross. It is Bob Ross, except they're not gonna paint happy little trees. They're gonna put a goddamn.
They're gonna paint his fucking drill with some brains.
Yeah, for real. Now, I to this day am still pissed off that this is not an eyeball scene. There's no reason that this is not an eyeball scene, even though the effect looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
It should have been an eyeball scene. Fulci, I'm calling bullshit on you right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
maybe he did it because the movie was filmed in America.
Well...
That doesn't even make any sense.
What?
It wasn't supposed to.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So, okay. John's parents die, and we don't get to see it. What the fuck? They're apparently fucking
all right, that's another
brutally
thing
massacred,
where it talks
and we don't
about,
see it.
Right, it talks about how they're shredded all to pieces and all the rest of this, torn apart and whatnot. And then you see the three dudes in the bar that get killed, and they look like that they fucking they got sucked on a couple of good times, and that was about it.
Yes, exactly. And fuck, here's the thing. We only had those bar scenes, so when the three people in the bar die, we can be like, oh yeah, look, it's the zombies affecting the town.
Right. But they weren't shredded to pieces or anything, and I'm like, that was fucking lame.
Yeah, that was something that I was kind of disappointed in. But anyway, they all go to the fucking cemetery again, and they're like, they're supposed to get this done before midnight, but guess what? It's All Saints Day. They failed greatly, but they're still like, they're going to try it. So they go down there. This is where the movie really kind of turns for me. The zombies look good, but everything that happens here, Sandra shows up as a zombie. She instant transmission and does another skull crunch. How many people die in this movie from getting their back of their fucking skulls crushed? Like 4 or 5 people die this one way.
12.5.
12. I'm pretty sure there weren't even 12 and a half people in this movie.
My numbers are calculated using extreme science.
What? Who? Extreme science from who? People who believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
What, do you get your science from the same guy who advises David Wolf?
Yeah.
Where does your fucking science come from?
The sun is chocolate energy made whole by
chocolate
avocados.
Energy? What are you, fucking fat boo? What is
I'm making fun of David Wolf now.
Oh.
It sounds like you're from California.
Who's David Wolf?
You just referenced him.
Did I? Oh shit. Okay, fair enough.
The fuck, man.
But yeah. Also, how come when Bob comes back as a zombie, even though he's been dead for like less than a day, he's all fucked up looking? Like, but they're like, well, instead of a normal decomposed body, since you're joining the Gates of Hell team under Father Thomas's run, you have to look all fucked up.
Yeah.
King God.
I wonder if he went back as a zombie and got his blow up doll.
I actually liked the way the zombie makeup was done.
I agree.
Actually kind of liked it. It was different, and it wasn't like it didn't have that Return of the Blind Dead look, or any of those.
Whoa,
it had
whoa.
its own kind of feel to it.
You're saying the Blind Dead in all respect, right? You ain't talking shit on Night of the Seagulls.
Kind of.
Don't be talking shit about Night of the Seagulls.
What?
There's these Italian movies called that they're loosely called the Blind Dead movies. It's called the Blind Dead trilogy, even though there's 4 of them, and they're very loosely based. One of them, Night of the Seagulls, is about like these zombie Templar knights who come back to this town to sacrifice a chick. It's getting a Blu-ray release by Scream Factory in like February. It's
weird.
Fucking it's old school. Like I want to say they were Spanish.
I think so.
Horror movies?
Just watch them. Just watch them, Jay.
Watch them. They're on Shudder, but a lot of times the dialogue is so fucking far off. Like, the audio track is so missynced from the video that it's unwatchable.
Wow.
Or like Zombie Holocaust or something like that. I mean, I really, really liked. I liked how these looked, and it was one of those where it didn't have the feel of like, Night of the Living Dead or any of those. And then later on, even the zombies that we have today, I still think it had its own look, No,
I actually agree with you completely. The set down here also looks fantastic. All the zombies coming up when they go into that one room where it's all the skeletons in the ceiling.
Yeah,
that is fucking epic. Everything looks so good down here, but it's just sad that like the zombies die over the smallest pushover things. With like you bringing up Sandra being stabbed in the stomach once slightly, she's probably taken dicks longer than that, and she's dying from it. Fucking makes no sense. And then
right,
and then fucking the priest being stabbed in the dick by a giant broken wooden cross, and that kills him. Maybe it's because it's a cross that it kills him. I don't know.
Yes, the power of Christ compels you.
Okay, but if that's the case, if I take my dick out and just put my finger across of it to make a cross, and then I jack off, does that make it holy fucking cum? Will that destroy him also?
Yes.
That's so fucking stupid.
That's in the director's cut. He explains that.
Well, there is. I wish there was a director's cut in this because, well, we'll get to that. So, yeah, all the zombies have instant transmission here, and anyway, to beat evil, you stab a priest in the dick with a big cross, and it ends so easily. They come back up. Jerry and Mary, which, by the way, Jerry in the credits is spelled with a G. And I want to take a second to say that not only am I completely against Jerry being spelled with a G for a man, that is the women's spelling. It was dictated by law of the Spice Girls that Jerry pronounced with a G is for women, Jerry pronounced with a J is for men. Spice Girls law dictates this. I fully believe that.
So
Lucio
you're saying
Fulci
that a woman can't have her name be named Jerry and it start with a J?
No, Spice Girls dictated that. You don't go.
You fucking
Look,
pig.
If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Okay?
I wish that's how it worked. So before you sleep
pig.
with me, sleep with all of my friends first, and then we'll see if you deserve to sleep with me.
It didn't.
Said,
It didn't mean get with all my friends as in having sex with them. By the way.
Well, that's what it should mean because that's how it sounds.
Yeah, but what if you actually had to have sex with all their friends? What if they're like only?
I would have
hanging
banged
out?
all the Spice Girls.
Yeah, dibs on Baby Spice. Anyway, Jerry and Mary come out of the grave, and little John starts running to them, and as little John runs to him all smiling like a fucking idiot, They start freaking out and screaming, and that's the end of the movie.
About what?
We don't know, because the original ending of this movie was destroyed. No one knows how. The rumor is that coffee was spilt on the film. It was not salvageable, so this is the ending we got. The problem is nothing's came out to say what the actual ending was. I cannot find anything that says what the fucking ending was supposed to be. I don't know if it's something to show that John is actually like another zombie or something, or the gates of hell are open and now instead of, it was actually John this whole time manipulating everything from behind the scenes. I don't know.
Whatever.
I am manipulating everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, so
with my dick.
This movie has problems building atmosphere because of how it randomly jumps. It just feels so disjointed. Even though I like the atmosphere in this movie, it never seems to be able to focus. Between some scenes that are
It's
just
got ADD.
Yeah, there's some scenes that are just not needed, to it jumping all over the place. It can hardly settle on just one thing. The characters never seem to go anywhere. There's no fucking thing as character development in this movie whatsoever. And everything just kind of ends. It's fun to watch all the kill scenes, and the zombies look amazing, but it's hard to ever get lost in this film, even though you're completely lost the entire time in this movie.
Right?
And oddly enough, there's no nudity in this movie.
It's always unfortunate.
Yeah.
No, there's nobody in that movie I would want to see naked.
What?
I'm sorry.
Emily?
The chick, yeah. I'm sorry. The one chick that was originally banging the
psychiatrist, Emily, who dies. Dude, she was banging. Did you see the ass on those tight 70s jeans? Fuck me, son.
And then the chick that came back to life. I would, the one that came out of the coffin that almost took the thing to the face.
Yeah, pickaxe.
Yeah, I would totally bang her too. Yeah, the pickaxe. I would totally bang her too.
Yeah, so this is not Fulci's best movie. I definitely prefer Zombie 2 and The Beyond. The Beyond, I think, is probably his best movie, even if Zombie 2 is his most known movie. The Beyond is way more focused on what it's trying to do. And House by the Cemetery is okay. And then there's a bunch of other Fulci movies. Fulci is good fucking time. I enjoy watching a Fulci movie because unlike Argento, where there's an art to it and it's beautiful and all this shit, Fulci is just downright dirty fucking Italian fun. And that's what I like about it.
Just a heads up, there are many, many Fulci movies that came out in 1984.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you get The Beyond in 1984, or did you get House by the Cemetery in 1984?
Let's see.
House by the Cemetery has this
I got
creepy
House by the
fucking
Cemetery.
kid.
I have a movie called Beyond the Darkness. Is that the same thing?
No, it should just be The Beyond. Hold on, let me see. I got the Blu-ray right here for The Beyond. When did this fucking come out? Tell me when you came out.
Here's the other one. It's called Eye of the Dead or Manhattan Baby.
Oh, Manhattan Baby. I like Manhattan Baby. That one's fun. This doesn't fucking tell me what happened to putting the fucking date.
Look in the copyright.
I'm looking, but it's giving me just when they made the disc and not when they made the movie.
Oh, well.
Did I tell you all about that movie that I watched called Man vs?
No, but I've heard other people talk about it.
It was interesting. It's basically like what you get from what the title of it, Man versus Dude goes out into the wilderness to show his survival skills or something like that, and he's recording like something for YouTube or whatever, and turns out there's really something in the woods that tries to fuck his ass up, and then it becomes like this battle between him and this creature and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
Is it a humanoid from the deep? You said fuck his ass, so I'm assuming
it is if I watch it.
There's this movie, right? Where was it? All right, let me ask y'all a question. This is completely off the subject of horror, but let me ask y'all a question. When was the last time that either one of y'all heard a movie that was big time that had Antonio Banderas in it?
Expendables 3 or whichever one he was in.
And how long ago was that?
I don't know, a few years.
Yeah, I can't remember when Expendables 3 came out. But, I mean, a big movie with him as the star.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico, I guess?
Yeah, right? All right, I'm scrolling through Netflix, and I came across this movie that's got him on it called Security. And the funny thing to me about this is the description. He was desperate for work and way overqualified.
That's pretty funny.
That is fucking great.
That is pretty funny. He's got a new movie
first-
coming out, actually, that I want to see.
And it says, but his first night on the job put his training to the test. But I just thought that first line was,
Oh my God.
That is
he
pretty
is
funny.
desperate for work.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right, let's wrap up City of the Living Dead. Now,
I'm gonna
Jay,
wrap my dick up.
in what?
Wrap my dick up.
In a condom before I have sex.
Anaconda.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
because it don't want none
Wait,
unless you got buns, son.
you wear condoms?
That's exactly what
you
came to my
fucking
mouth.
sailor.
Only when I fuck strangers.
Oh, fair enough. So pretty much everyone.
Yeah, they
Okay.
gotta have papers. If they got papers that says they're clean, I'm down.
Well, do they check your papers? Do you have papers? Do you carry around papers in your wallet?
I might. You don't know.
Oh shit. Faye, you know what? Practice safe sex.
He does. How close do you live to Seattle?
40-hour. I don't know. Close. We'll say close.
How did he just say 40 hours close?
I was trying to say 40 minutes to an hour, and then I decided that those might be wrong depending on the day of the week, and so
I was just thinking
I
about the
switched to
correlation
close.
between him having to carry med papers in his wallet and living close to Seattle.
Okay.
yeah.
So, Jay,
Yes.
how do you feel about City of the Living Dead now compared to when we watched it 2 years ago?
About the same. I love the effects. I think the fucking plot is all over the place, and a lot of it doesn't make any sense. But you know, it is what it is.
Okay. How do you feel about us choosing that as our first movie ever to review?
It was very random. I don't know what got us to choose that. I think because we were discussing Zombie, because I watched Zombie, because it was us doing the 31 Days of Horror both at the same time that got us talking about a podcast. And I think one of the movies that I watched was Zombie or Zombie 2 or wherever the movie with the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that movie got us talking about Fulci in general. And you were like, oh, we should totally watch.
Oh, yeah.
We should
'cause
totally
you-
do
you-
City of the Living Dead.
You hadn't seen City of the Living Dead, and it was on Netflix or Hulu at the time.
Hulu.
And at the-
I remember it was on Hulu because I fucking while I was listening it to find the quote that I was gonna use from the old show, I mentioned that it's on Hulu Plus.
Yeah, because at the time we were going to do only streaming movies.
Right.
And so I was like, dude, let's do City of the Living Dead because it's known but not super known, so it'll work out really well.
Yep.
So, okay. Kenneth, how do you
Yes.
feel about City of the Living Dead 2 years after you did not review it?
Well, how I feel about City of the Living Dead 20 years later, almost 20 years later, it was, like I said before, it was a good watch. The special effects were amazing. I really liked the drill through the head scene because, you know, when he's kind of sitting there still moving his head and his mouth comes open or whatever, and the drill bit's still going in his head, I thought that was really, really good, even though it's just two drill bits on both sides of his head spinning at the same time. Yeah, I thought that was really good. So, you know, overall, the special effects were great, but the special effects and the score was probably the best things about the movie. Everything else was just kind of like, you know, I really didn't need anything else. They could have just played the little clips of each one of the special effects and had the music going over top of it, and I'd have been happy.
I'm gonna recut the movie just for you.
Do it.
Fair enough. I actually was a bit more critical on the movie this time, which I think it speaks to 2 years of reviewing movies with y'all. I was pointing out a lot of different things that I was not liking. While still,
Did you listen to the recording before you did this one?
No, I actually told Jay that I wanted to, but it was so busy at work this weekend that I just could not even listen to anything. There was just no time to do it. So I didn't go back and listen to it. So this is all completely fresh, my new point of view. I still really like it, but Kenneth's right. You watch it for the kills, the gore, and the soundtrack, even though I still don't think the soundtrack fits. I still love that fucking soundtrack. I love Italian soundtracks, especially ones Fulci does with this and what you have in, like, Zombie 2. It's fantastic. So, I'm watch the movie for fun, but the fucking story doesn't matter whatsoever. That's
Correct.
what I'm saying. So, the ending song I said was from this. So, okay. There is a rapper by the name of Necro. And he samples a lot of Italian horror soundtracks. And he sampled this, but he sampled a band who did a remake
Holy shit.
of the theme song from this, and he sampled them in his song The Dispensation of Life and Death. And that song actually starts off with Charles Manson talking. Like, it's an actual audio clip of Charles Manson talking, saying, y'all are trying to arrest me for the dispensation of life and death. And the fucking president
so it's like
of
similar to my Tinder profile.
Yes. And it's a good song. If you don't like hip hop, you probably won't like this. But if you like horror movies, you might like it because it's very much in the horrorcore genre. Though Necro does not call himself that, he calls it death rap, and his stuff is honestly a lot more fucking violent than what you would hear from a lot of other horrorcore rappers.
So he's like the Cannibal Corpse of fucking rap.
Yes. In the sense that, much like the guy from Cannibal Corpse, he only knows how to use one flow, and it's just the instrumentals that keep changing.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I really like the song. It's a fucking brutal song, and even if you don't like the rap, listen to the beat. The beat's really fucking good. Necro is fucking fantastic at. He makes his own beats, he produces his own songs, and it's fucking awesome. So, The Dispensation of Life and Death is what we are going to be listening to for our outro, and that's by Necro. You've been with us for 2 fucking years. 2 fucking years, and we're going to keep going. We've got stuff planned. Our next episode will also be an Italian flick. We are going to do Zombie, a.k.a. Zombie 2 by Lucio Fulci, to keep up with Italian Horror Month and just to do another Fulci film because it's fucking excellent. But we are getting the fuck out of here. Thank you all for watching. All links in the description. Facebook, YouTube, Patreon, HorrorPack, shirts, all that fucking amazing shit. Yo. So check us out. Check us out in the Facebook group. We will see y'all next time. You know all that pimp shit. I'm out. Jay, do you have any last words?
Peace.
That's fantastic. Kenneth, what do you got for the people? I couldn't have said it better myself. We are fucking out of here. Later, guys.